What are examples of toxic femininity? Breast is best. Women who have C-sections aren't real mothers. Real women have curves. I'm not like other girls etc. JFC. I was in nursing. And in maternity I always heard breast is best. Well. Yes. Of course. But. Fed is best. Some women don't produce enough milk and have to supplement or switch to formula. Some just would rather give formula. Who f***ing cares? As long as the baby is fed. I recently learned about gold star lesbians. Who've never had sexual contact with men. And discriminate against other lesbians who have. Ain't that some shit? Like. I'm sure many people who now identify as gay lesbian went through a lot of experimentation before they figured out who they were. That's not something to berate people over. Women who make fun of other women in hopes it will make her attractive to men. I see it all the time on Twitter. Shti is mad stank coochie energy. I don't get why. No man finds this attractive. Women judging other women for using different types of menstrual products. Fair women who use tampons often shti on women who prefer pads. The menstrual cup crew are the worst for this in my experience. Like. Yes. I'm trying to be an environmentally friendly woman. But seriously, there are legitimate reasons why a large number of women cannot just shove a cup up there. Edit. Just to clarify in case it came across wrongly. I don't mean all cup users. Most of you are lovely. But I've seen quite a bit of elitism and pushiness from friends who have switched. Well. From what I understand. Toxic masculinity is when men practice objectively self-destructive behaviors, like alcoholism, avoiding medical treatment, violent criminal behavior, etc. All for the sake of proving how manly they are. The equivalent for women would be self-destructive behavior that's connected to being seen as feminine. I guess some examples would be eating disorders, which are more common for women, excessive plastic surgery, large breast implants, or other body modification surgeries. Women face more social pressure than men to have an attractive appearance, while men face more pressure to be tough. The self-destructive behaviors of both genders tend to reflect these pressures. Edit. Whoa. Thanks for the awards. This is my first comment to actually get any. The idea that a woman should be let off for hurting her spouse since men are stronger, as if the definition of abuse changes depending on your gender. In Western Australia, not sure about other states, there is a domestic abuse hotline. For women. Not men. There is no such thing for men. Actually there is one. For men who are abusing or thinking about abusing their partners. Not for men receiving abuse. Girls who are not like other girls. Girls who are cruel to women who choose to stay at home to raise children. Girls who expect men to pay for everything for them. A large proportion of girls go through the not like other girls stage. Sometimes girls are taught that all girls are shallow. So that's a pretty fair reaction. It's not really toxic femininity. More just a rebellion against stereotypes that they perceive to be the truth. Getting pregnant in order to entrap a guy. Then alienating the kids from him when the inevitable breakdown of the relationship occurs. Happening to a friend of mine right now. He hasn't been able to see his kids since March because he was at risk and my friend was still working. Yet. The mum has had friends around for parties and today even took him on a local holiday in a town about 6 hours away. Meanwhile, my friend can't even see his own son from a short distance. He's mentioned how he used to pay for the house and gifts etc, and I just utterly broken right now. I know it takes two to tango, but this woman seems to really hurt him on purpose. If you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Fellas. If you encounter a woman that has said or posted that, run like your mental health depends on it, cause it sure as shit does. I like to call girls like that a Marilyn Monroe. Edit. Although reading your post makes me want to change it to Marilyn Run Bro. The idea that we need to play dumb, act weak or helpless to attract a man. It drives me crazy being told not to do things because you'll scare the boys off. It's not a universal thing. But it's so annoying when other women say shit like that. Women who think other women that enjoy cooking, child rearing, and homemaking are perpetuating stereotyped gender roles enforced by the patriarchy. Tearing other women down because what they enjoy doesn't fit into the tiny box of what your version of feminism should be is toxic femininity to the maximum. Women objectifying young men as sexual playthings. Like, hey pool boy, wanna come rub some lotion on my back? If a cougar does it, it is supposed to be empowering? But if a man said that about a girl waitress by the pool, he'd be a sexist, misogynist pig. Huh. This is always funny during the Olympics. So many women 40 plus drooling over 20-year-old competitors. And they do it on national television. Shit like that would get a guy fired if he did it in private. Girls who complain about guys not talking about their feelings, but as soon they do or even cry they make fun of them. We should be equal. Do your own damn dishes and laundry. Double quote. Put out the garbage and mow the lawn? Hell no. That's men's work. Double quote. And X200B. I've literally met women who refuse to learn to cook because they didn't want to be shoved into female roles. Like, geez, that's not a female role, that's basic survival and independence. 1. I've legit seen women support other women when they are abusing male partners too. Being a lesbian doesn't make unwanted advances. Staring, touching, or flirting less creepy just because you are a woman. 3. Gatekeeping trans people from their own experiences because they commonly happen to cis women. 4. Constantly putting down men when the man in question hasn't done anything. 5. Conditional feminism. Remember the talk when they supported and laughed at the story of the woman who cut her boyfriend's husband's genitalia off? That girl power should not mean condoning dismemberment to another human being. If you're talking about John Wayne Bobbitt, he was apparently super abusive to her and raped and sodomized numerous times. No. She probably shouldn't whacked his tally like that. But it's also not toxic feminism that she did it. But maybe you're talking about a different case. The whole makeup culture TBH. Telling their friends you look like an entirely different person with makeup. Like it's a compliment. Always peeve me. Pressuring each other to look and act more feminine in general TBH. I remember girls in high school being baffled that I don't wear a push-up bra, uncomfortable as hell, and I had nothing to fill up a bra with anyway. I was okay with it, but somehow everyone was telling me I shouldn't be. And telling me I should dress up, wear more feminine clothes, more often. When I was actually quite proud of my style generally. The inability to congratulate any other woman, genuinely, on their weight loss. I think a lot of this stems from not knowing where the weight loss came from, or if it was wanted. If someone was sick or had disordered eating, it would be a pretty douche move to congratulate them. When Ellen DeGeneres joked about International Men's Day, basically dismissing it sarcastically, all like you mean like every other day? Double quote. Geez, I'd hope not. International Men's Day is about promoting and supporting cancer screening and early detection for a demographic otherwise squeamish and uncomfortable with the procedure. If it was every other day, my prostate would have calluses. The claim that we should accept all body types and be body positive. Yet every other female profile on online dating sites apps comes with a don't swipe if you're under 6 feet tall disclaimer. I know. Women get away with being hella shallow on dating sex sites. I don't get it. You would think they'd treat others how they want to be treated. But nope. Picking a fight and then pulling out the Vagina card when you get hit back. Beating up your boyfriend. Then calling the cops on him when he only tries to defend himself from your onslaught. Crying about how he beat up a girl so he gets taken to jail. Telling the father of your children that he can't see them if he doesn't pay child support. The glorification of casual alcoholism, binge drinking, primarily amongst white middle-aged women. Emphasis on alcoholism. Because it really is just that. It's rarely about enjoying drinking. Rather than this pseudo-ironic I can't get through the day without a glass of wine shtick. Leading a guy on to get a free dinner or drink with no intention of ever talking to them again. Dismissing any rational objection or input from a man as mansplaining. Serial first dating. Goes on date. Gets free meal. Bullshit excuse to not continue. Rinse. Repeat. Not at all a common occurrence, thankfully. Believing that any form of masculinity is toxic. Really? Toxic masculinity is also the men don't cry mentality. Is that not toxic? Women who degrade and put other women down to make themselves look better. Cancel culture. It's not true cancel culture unless it comes from the Cancale region of France. Otherwise it's just sparkling consequences. Don't know if this fits, but privileged white women equating their version of sexism with racism experienced by black folks. Specifically underprivileged black folks from the inner city, or even with the struggles of black women all over the world. The girl power ideology extends to believing that all black women should specifically join forces with white feminism and not necessarily black issues. A lot of that has toned down recently. At least from what I've seen. Thankfully. Women who judge other women for not wanting children or not having mothering tendencies. I don't find babies cute. And the prospect of raising a child doesn't appeal to me. So why is it weird if I don't want them or fawn over baby pics? It's not anti-feminist to not call all babies cute. It's not like I am taking a stance against motherhood for anyone. I just don't want children. Women mocking men for doing unmanly things. An ex of mine, WHOF King, cheated on me, said that I was like the girl of our relationship when I started to show signs of jealousy because she was spending way too much time with the guy she ended up sleeping with. But hey, I should have just been a man and allowed it and stopped being so jealous of their time together on Saria. Gossiping. I'm not saying men don't gossip. But women are on a whole different level when it comes to social warfare, and in a lot of cases they are experts at weaponizing their words to destroy a person in a variety of different ways. It's not widely defined in feminist ideology, but my interpretation of toxic femininity is the classic 19th century fainting woman incapable of doing anything. Always swooning. In my opinion, that is the extreme extension of the female gender norm of submission. Just cattiness in general. I'm a female and I pretty much had one or two friends growing up. The clique like Mean Girls mentality is horribly toxic. Women gossip about each other and gang up on each other at workplaces too. It's absolutely exhaustive and I can't be around it. Believing all politics centers around the ability to get an abortion. Hey, I'm male and I support free and legal abortion. Namely because humanity is trash and we need less of them. Using feminism in wrong places. Stretching it far enough to make real issues negligible. Saying this from personal experience. My dad does physical domestic violence on my mother. As a kid, I didn't know what to do. Recently, out of blue, I found courage to tell my dad if he raised his hand at my mom another time, I'd call police on him. He replied, "I've seen women like you running around with feminism boards. So shut up." I repeated myself anyway. Just so he's clear. What's worse? After I had protected my mom, both my mom and elder sister scolded me. Emotionally blackmailed me to apologize to my dad. False feminism when they go outside and raise voices but fail to protect women inside their own homes. My ex would complain that I would never send her sweet or heartfelt messages. I used to try, but she constantly screenshots and shares everything with her friends. It's very hard to open up and be intimate and vulnerable with someone who shares everything with everyone. Calling someone little boy or girly. Discounting someone's argument because of their gender rather than the quality of their position. Refusing to let someone work for you because you feel a female is better at the job. And so on. Essentially all the stuff men do as well. Honestly, if you do something wrong to a guy and know a guy can't retaliate, i.e. false RP charges, damaging property, abusive nature, threatening, stalking, etc., and use the phrase "but you can't get me cause I am a girl," lol. FCKU. If your intent is to ruin a guy's life for the sheer hell of it or monetary gain, screw you. If men did half the manipulation that women did, women would lose their shit even more so than we have already. Y'all. The question isn't toxic feminism. It's toxic femininity. Like toxic masculinity but for women. Like saying if you have short hair or play video games you're automatically a lesbian because masculine trait. Similar to toxic male energy. Not respecting boundaries of the opposite sex. Using them. Disrespecting them. Abusing them. Adhering to rules of all men are this. Double quote. Misogynists are horrible. But so are misandrists. Any prejudice against any gender is just downright wrong. Personally, I think the most toxic a woman could be is if she makes false rape assault accusations. I mean, not only is she taking a horrible crime to her advantage, but she is also ruining the lives of other people for her own gain. Anybody who does this is f-king trash and I hope they burn in hell. You don't make fun of that sort of stuff. Women in position of power that continue to think they have something to prove and treat their employees like shite. Women using the advantage in court to get as much money out of their ex-partner as possible. Unpopular opinion but women who hate men so bad. And that too they think all men are bad. Recently saw someone tweeting I'm pregnant. Don't know if it's a precious girl or an abortion. Like WTF dude. I mean girl. If you ever think feminism has come a long way try going out as a woman in shorts without shaved legs. Particularly among teenagers or preteens the sheer shock on their faces and barrage of questions you get because you don't shave is staggering. Telling women that they can have it all without telling them that it will never make them happy. Sure you can try to have it all. But is it possible that women would be better off deciding what they want and focusing on that? Rather than just chasing the impossible dream of having it all and never being satisfied. Maybe I'm wrong. Mothers telling their daughters that their interests aren't girly enough and then trying to ban them from them. Or straight up banning them from their actual interests and signing them up for stereotypically girly activities. Which is how I got put into ballet classes and Girl Scouts. Women who get judged for not shaving their legs. I understand some people are uncomfortable by pubic hair which I think is stupid anyway. But if you judge my hairy legs and call them gross even though my hair is blonde and fine. FCKU.